Hello people. Before I start this video, I'd like to give a shout to JDB Express this for her baby mama video. I'd also like to give a shout to Alal Saad. She made 2 positive videos about black people and especially black women, and I find that unusual because most non-black people are just really trying to stay away from the topic altogether. So got to give her props for that. The videos I found JDB Express this and Alal Saad's videos interesting, so I'll put a link to them in the description so you can check them out. I also have to shout the Chipmunk of Doom, just because I think her name is very creative. I mean, when I hear that name, I keep thinking, I keep thinking of like a movie scene where you'd say, Darth Vader, what do you want? He's like, well, I'm looking for the Chipmunk of Doom. I guess I'm just being silly, but I just find that name really interesting. But the purpose of this video is to give my advice, my personal advice to single moms, and specifically black single moms who, are out there in the dating world. And this video concerns the last man. And the reason why I picked this topic is because I see that on YouTube there's something, YouTubers are calling for something called a wall of silence to be brought against black single mothers who've been unmarried. I think black women, single mothers who've been unmarried, don't have to worry about it, because us men always going to want a woman, she could have one leg, no hair, whatever. We're always going to want women, so you don't have to worry about a wall of silence or men just like trying to stay away from you. That's not going to happen. But I'm back to the topic. Who is the last man? Now, the last man in any woman's life is supposed to be the man that's supposed to be the man the woman marries, has children with, and spends the rest of her life with. That's who the last man is supposed to be. Now, in the black community, the marriage rate is so low, and unfortunately marriage is rare. The last man concept is warped. In our community, I believe the last man is usually the last guy who was seriously dating a single mom. And I put emphasis on seriously dating, because if a single mom is just letting the guy hit it, in the meantime and in between time, then that really doesn't count, because that guy doesn't really care about the woman. And on the real, for women who are letting guys do that, in a way you're playing yourself, because everyone sees it, your children are watching it, and the more men that you give access to your body to, unfortunately, the lower your value, the lower your stock goes. It's unfair, because the whole thing doesn't hold true for a man, but that's just how it is. Anyway, back to the topic. Alright, the last man is the last one who seriously dated you. The first man is your baby daddy. Now, needless to say, if the last man is seriously dating you, the first man is the baby daddy, that causes a problem. See, because there's competition between men for women. And in the case of the single mother, that competition is pretty much already over. Your baby daddy won that competition. He won the gold medal, and he has the children with you to prove it. He will wear that medal for the rest of his life. He knows it, and the last man knows it. The last man knows if he's serious about you, he has to deal with that. The last man also has to deal with other issues that could mess with his head. The last man knows a lot of other guys might look at the baby daddy as the guy who got the best you had to offer. He knows a lot of fellas might look at him as a chump who's just getting another man's leftovers, another man's responsibilities. Now, I know you women might say, okay, if this competition is over and stuff like that, then why is it when you see your baby daddy and your last man in the same room, there's like a little bit of tension? You want to know what's that's about. What's that about is what I call the king of the hill. The last man wants the baby daddy to know that you are now his. The The last man wants to mark his territory, stake his claim, to speak. You might not notice this, the woman, but the baby daddy will notice it before you will. In the back of the baby daddy's mind, he's laughing at the last man. He's thinking, this punk is trying to flex on me. I should whip his ass in front of her and the kids, just let him know I'm still running things. Then again, I could put my best foot forward and take her back and have her kick him to the curb. Again, just to let him know who's running things. Crazy part about that situation is that even if the baby daddy is not thinking those things, the last man probably thinks that he is thinking those things. So that just puts more psychological pressure on the last man. But the thing is, if this guy is the last man, he's seriously it's about you, he's willing to deal with you, and he wants to make you his woman, maybe his wife, deal with the kids and all of that, then he's willing to deal with that. There are men out there, who will actually do that. You women just have to, pick the ones, discern the real ones from the fake ones. The one thing that will hurt the last man if he's serious about you, though, is that if you treat him like he is the last man. Now with that, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a story of 3 people. I won't use their real names, so I'll call them the following. The good guy, this is characteristic, so that's self-explanatory. Light skin is the girl. I call her light skin because she's a girl who's always made it well known that she's not dating any man darker than she is, and her whole family line is just gonna stay light. That's how she wants it. And last but not least, I'm gonna call the next person Mad Dog No Good. Needless to say, he's the baby daddy. And for all of those who are old school, you should know where I get the Mad Dog No Good from. Now, good guy light skin and Mad Dog No Good knew each other all their lives. Good guy's been in love with light skin forever, but light skin would never give him any kind of play. So now light skin is in her mid-30s, and she's already had a boy with Mad Dog No Good. Mad Dog No Good is locked up, right, and he never married her, so he's locked up, so she's a single mom. So now that she's in her mid-30s, she decides to give good guy some play. Now from day one, she was treating good guy pretty bad. She would scream on him in public, degrade him whenever she wanted to. Good guy didn't care because I guess he loved her. So after a year of going out, good guy moved in with light skin and her son. Now the way I understand it, good guy wanted light skin to move in with him, but light skin didn't want that. She wanted him to move in with her. So that's how it went. So after a year of living together, good guy asked light skin to marry him, but she refused. So another year passed and nothing changed. It's 3 years. Light skin is still dissing the good guy and she won't marry him, but they're still living together.